In this episode of What's Working Now, we are going to talk about how we are currently living in one of the most uncertain epochs in millennium history. The coronavirus pandemic has altered the way we meet, invest, and purchase. And, most importantly, how we conduct business. There is no doubt that this is more than just a period where the economy slows. This is a lot more. This is a time of transition. The purpose of this video is to first provide you with a better understanding of how significant this change is what trends are here to stay and how to adapt to them. I'll also explain it to you. Why this pandemic and recession are different from previous ones, and finally, you have vital information on the businesses that will explode in the coming months, particularly in 2023. The information race. I want you to imagine what society was like 15 centuries ago. We're at the start of the Middle Ages, and there are only two of us. The first of these is a nobleman. The second individual is a regular craftsman who makes and sells swords for a living. So, which do you believe has more clout? Right now, the noble figure wields more power. And this is simply due to his birth into the right family. And having a lot of assets is still important, even in this day and age. Can mean the difference between living a happy or unhappy life. In the Middle Ages, society was divided into three classes: the noble, the clergy, and the commons, as well as the peasants. They also believed that it was critical to maintain this division, and to remain in the social class into which you were born to maintain general equilibrium. As a result, it was nearly impossible for an individual to rise from a low social standing to a higher position. You would live and enjoy the privileges of a noble if you were born one. Similarly, if you were born a peasant, you would spend the rest of your life as a peasant. The class you were born into determined your social standing for the rest of your life. However, this is not the case at the moment. It is now simpler than ever. Even if you start with nothing, you can become wealthy and influential. In contrast to the Middle Ages, when land and title deeds were extremely important, determining an individual's wealth. In today's world, information is the true source of wealth. Simply put, the person with the most knowledge and information who takes action will win. As a result, even in the face of global adversity, some people will profit enormously simply because they have more information than the majority of people. You can become one of those people if you understand and apply this concept. But how do you obtain all of that information? Isn't this the million-dollar question? There are many sources you can and cannot rely on. However, your goal should be to find unbiased information that you can then use, carry out. And the purpose of this video is to provide you with the fundamentals of that information. But first, give this video a big thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. And let us know what video you'd like us to make next. Why people buy. Business success is achieved by completing a need or want. If someone is successful in whatever industry or specific niche they are in, they are meeting a need. In other words, businesses with a large number of customers solve a problem that many people have, and the more serious the problem, the greater the demand. So the reason people buy is straightforward. They do it to satisfy a desire or a need. If you want to see a movie, you must purchase a ticket. If you so desire to make delicious milkshakes at home, you'll need a blender, among other things. To understand why the businesses I'm about to list will boom in the coming year, you must understand one of the most important economic principles, the supply and demand principle. This is something that is discussed in school, but unfortunately, many professors make it extremely difficult, boring and lengthy, so I'm about to explain in a few minutes what my teacher explained to me weeks ago. The supply and demand principle. Essentially, supply is what businesses are willing to offer at a specific time and price, while demand is what people are willing to buy at a specific time and price. For example, if you want to sell your first book for $39, you're on the supply side. People who are willing to pay that price for a book are on the demand side. Now, the principle is fairly straightforward. I want you to imagine yourself as a writer. And many people want to purchase your book because it is fantastic. So many in fact want to buy your book that you might not have enough to meet all that demand. And, because the book is in such high demand, and you want to maximize your profits, you raise the price by $10, and it now sells for $49. However, many people have lost interest in the book since you raised the price. Because they now believe it is overpriced, demand falls. In business, when demand rises, so does the price. Because companies want to make more money. However, as prices and supply rise, so does demand. Ideally, demand and supply must be balanced, and this is the sweet spot that everyone tries to get there, but it never happens. Typically, before a company releases a product, they conduct extensive research and testing to determine what is the best They can charge whatever they want and still have a good demand for their product. It's the same with the stock market if you think about it. When a large number of people wish to purchase, the value of a stock rises. And, of course, many other factors influence stocks. Price, demand, and supply are all factors to consider. However, understanding this fundamental concept is essential. And remembering it when making business decisions can make a big difference. According to the Valuates report, the logistics market is the #1 business. By 2022, it is expected to reach $12.2 trillion. Logistics and parcel delivery is important. An industry that is only going to grow, and yet not much is said about it on YouTube. The business model is to deliver goods and charge a fee for each item delivered. Carrier businesses rely heavily on economies of scale, therefore, if 100 items are delivered to the same location, the income to expenditure ratio is much higher than if there were only one. Clients could be a company that requires those goods to function, or regular citizens who purchase products online. Obviously, despite the pandemic, this is a niche that will thrive, if not grow, even quicker. This will occur as more and more people purchase goods online, over purchasing them through traditional channels such as stores and shopping malls. Before the pandemic, many people did not trust online shopping, but thanks to new health regulations imposed due to the pandemic, businesses were forced to use the internet to service and find customers. Most people had only two options: go out and possibly become infected. Alternatively, you could stay at home and rely on online shopping. And, because the majority of people chose the second option, they discovered the ease of online shopping. As a result, I haven't returned to traditional shopping. This is a growing trend. It is spreading all over the world. Because more and more traditional brick and mortar businesses are closing down, instead of having brick and mortar stores, they prefer to serve their customers through the internet. The ability to purchase almost anything they desire and have it delivered to their home. It's incredible to be able to get something delivered to your door with just a few clicks, and this is the unavoidable future. The lockdown has only accelerated the transition from traditional to online shopping. Here are a few things to think about if you want to work in this industry. You will face fierce competition, and you must understand your customer. Are you going to deliver from business to customer, B2C, or from business to business, B2B? Business to business, B2B? Furthermore, competition is fierce, so you must find a way to innovate. As a result, rather than simply being a regular delivery service, in the same old way, experiment with something new. Consider the example of Delta Airlines. Delta Clean is a new project that they are launching. The tagline says it all. A new standard of airline cleanliness, now and always. All aircraft will be subjected to additional sanitization and health safety measures. So, if you're willing to put in extra effort and provide a delivery solution that works, and has this type of security as its primary benefit, along with quick delivery, obviously, you'll win both now and next year. If delivering goods isn't enough for you, move on to the next one. Number 2, health and hygiene related. Before the pandemic, it was perfectly normal to shake hands, hold hands, or hug strangers. Friends. People are now very cautious about making physical contact with anyone. Everyone, or, at least, the majority of people, follow social distancing rules. And to keep them sanitary at all times. With everything going on, it's no surprise that many businesses use safety as a keyword. The main selling point is to persuade people to use their services or purchase their products. For example, if you own a restaurant, I'm sure you want to follow the rules. You want your tables to be perfectly clean and sanitized to be safe. You do all this to ensure that customers are not nervous when entering your restaurant. You might even want to advertise that you're safer and cleaner at this point than all other restaurants, to gain a competitive advantage. So, if a restaurant wants all of this to happen, they'll need some assistance. That's when you appear out of nowhere with a pleasant phone call. This explains why they should use your cleaning and sanitation services. When starting such a business, keep in mind what businesses are looking for. They are not only attempting to be clean but also to be perceived as clean by potential clients, particularly in the tourism industry. So, in addition to cleaning services, also businesses must develop a strategy for opening safely and publicizing the new changes. This service is still in high demand among businesses, not only in tourism, and with the right innovation, this is a huge market need that still needs to be met properly. Will you be the one to solve the problem? The third company is a social media marketing agency. A social media marketing agency is simply an advertising firm that focuses on social media. on generating sales for businesses with various techniques and campaigns on the leading platforms. SMMAs are another name for them. Because many businesses would like to transition to the internet as a result of all these agencies that have sprung up in response to the pandemic. There are so many that I'd classify it as a trend. So, right now, it's probably not a good time to start a social media marketing company. Simply because the level of competition is insane. However, the industry has enormous potential. And it doesn't even require a large investment to get started. So here's what I'd do. If I were to start a business like this, I would wait until the trend fades. Most of these new businesses will fail for one of two reasons. 1. They lack experience and skills. 2. They lack motivation and will give up too soon. Marketing is the future, and if you are serious about it, you should get started as soon as possible. Learn the necessary skills before launching the agency when the time is right. Thank you, guys, so much for watching. If you like this video or think it would benefit a friend or someone else, please share it.